Greetings one and all, this is Rhythmworks and welcome to my channel with some Destiny gameplay action style. Just wanted to get back into the Iron Banner after a lengthy absence just to see if I still got my game. And before I even go any further, I just want to big up two of my fellow YouTubers, JCMac120 and also JBlaze06 aka Black Odie. That little intro is so cool, man. It's just short to the point, no messing about, you know what I mean? He is an absolute warrior. Just want to big you guys up because you guys actually gave me the inspiration to do this video. And this video is going to be more or less a debate, and I really want to hear from my subs, my fellow YouTubers, whoever is interested in the subject matter I'm about to talk about, which is gaming. No shit Sherlock alert. It is all about gaming, but it's not about a specific element of gaming. It's about gaming in general. Now, I want to ask you guys, it's nearly now 2 years since the new generation of consoles came out, the Xbox One and also the Xbox One and also the PS4. And I want to find out from you guys, what has been your pros, your highlights, what has been your cons, your lowlights, and also what you wish for in the future of current gen gaming. Now, with my personal console, the PS4, the first pro in that was simply watching the reveal at E3, watching the reveal of the PlayStation 4 console, and also knowing about its price drop as well. Because with the PlayStation 3, they really messed that up in terms of retailing. Because I remember buying my PS3 for just a little under £500. I'm sure it was around £500 I bought it for. And I didn't even have a high def TV to even play it through anyway. So that was kind of stupid. But you know me, always on the hype train as it were. But aside of that, I think Sony learned their lesson in terms of pricing. However, the cons in relation to pricing I will go into a little later on. Also, the launch games, some of the new launch games that were being showcased on E3 were very exciting to watch. I was from the naive old school that what you saw is what you're gonna get in terms of like the trailers and stuff. I mean, I do know the difference between gameplay footage, do you know what I mean, and in-engine footage, obviously, but you know, somewhere between the two, I was going to be very happy and satisfied. So seeing games like Watch Dogs and so many other different games that were original in content, you know, and new to the gamer was gonna be an exciting prospect to watch. That was a pro. Also, the functionality of the PS4 was an exciting thing because for the first time you were able to capture your footage in console and share it from your console to social networking sites, which was, I think it was Sony recognizing that the whole gaming thing was blowing up, you know, in a big way, which kind of leads me on to another pro, which is mainstream. Gaming is so mainstream now. It is making more money than Hollywood movies right now. And, you know, some of the franchises in Hollywood, like Marvel, for example, basically, and, you know, and even the Lego movie as well, you know, they are basically boxing clever by syndicating releases with video games and stuff like that. It's not something new, it's been done before, but I just think now it's been done on a bigger scale. But now gaming is so mainstream, you know, with the conservative BBC, you know, they're even covering E3 and also Comic-Con now, which, you know, 5 years ago had no place. It was just, you know, a nerdy, niche thing to be involved with, you know, cosplay and things like that. I wouldn't say it was frowned upon, but it wasn't something that was of interest to news corporations, do you know what I'm saying, in the UK. But now it's all the norm now, because they recognize that gaming is bringing in top dollar. You know what I mean? And nothing talks more languages than money. So gaming being mainstream, yeah, it has definitely come to pass. Now, with all of that, and I can mention many more pros as well, but I have to kind of balance it with the cons. Now, one of my cons in relation to gaming on the PS4 is not even necessarily to do with the PS4 itself. It's to do with the developers of the games that they bring out. And the number one con for me, without question, is servers. Is the servers not working properly with the games that these devs are developing. You know, it makes me question, well, what are these QA people doing, you know, in the development of the games? What are their testers doing? Because something would have had to pass to say, okay, yeah, I think we got this. This is going well. Everything is working properly. The engine's working good, yada, yada, yada. But as soon as we get our hands on it, it's not working. Exhibit A, Battlefield freaking 4. You know? Classic example. Boy, that Gallahorn, man, it's not freaking nice to be on the other end of that, man. But anyway, yeah. You know, so that wasn't really, you know, a good experience for me. And it was experiencing a game that I really wanted to get into. I really wanted to get into the Battlefield franchise. And that wasn't really a good start, you know. But there you go. It's basically what it is. The second con of current gen gaming is broken and unfinished games, man. Broken and unfinished games. There are so many. One, for example, was I think it was Assassin's Creed Unity, where you're playing a game and, you know, I don't know what you call it, the texturizing of the characters just weren't finished. It just didn't look good. You know, you just had their eyeballs and their skull or their jaw and their face is not fully fleshed out and shit. You know, and we're talking a freaking £50 game, you know, and they're bringing it out with all those faults within it, you know. Broken games. And if you basically combine that with the servers, it just does not make for a happy gaming experience overall. What else? Outages. Now, don't get me wrong on this, right? You know, I don't mind when PSN goes down for maintenance. You know, as with everything on a digital platform, on the internet, you know, you're gonna have to maintain your shit. You can't have the same shit up there, you know, for the duration. Things have got to change. And in order for them to change, there's got to be some downtime, you know? And I get that. But the outages are beginning to worry me simply because of the fact that, you know, in recent times we've had DDoS attacks and all these other things, you know, that's been perpetrated by a squad who I will not mention. But it doesn't make a good experience either, for me personally. And I don't mind paying for security for my console. I really don't mind paying for security. But if I've seen that I'm spending money for security for these things not to happen, and they are happening, I mean, granted, they're not happening with such regularity, but they're happening all the same. Do you know what I mean? And the thing about it is, like, it's minor league shit. It's not even a case where it was the major hacking incident of 2011 that we had to basically deal with. It's minor DDoS attacks. And I think things like that, you know, I'm no computer expert, but, you know, I think that it needs to be combated in a more efficient way. But having said that, shares in Sony has gone down considerably. You know, what that is due to, I don't know. But they have stated, I mean, the news organization, they have stated that Sony intends to pick up pick up its steam, as it were. Oh shit, Steam. Did I mention Steam and Sony in the same sentence? But you know what I mean? It's like they need to basically pick up their steam in terms of gaining more revenue from gaming. They did state that, you know, which kind of reinforces some of the cons I've been talking about. But anyway, security is a huge issue right about now. It is a huge issue, and you know, the hacking incident that they had, you know, a la the interview movie, didn't help matters much either. Do you know what I'm saying? But for us little gamers around the circuit, around the world, you know, we just want to basically have a good time doing what we do. You know, we want to buy your games and what have you, whether digital or otherwise, or what have you, and you know, just know that our card details are safe, and you know, we can have an overall safe and enjoyable experience online on our brand new shiny, well, I wouldn't say brand new shiny consoles, but our current gen consoles. But when you see it getting compromised in such a way, and you got these pussy holes that wants to claim responsibility for it, do you know what I mean? It's like, well, you know, what do you do? Anyway, that's another one of my cons at the minute. Now, the next couple of cons for me, it can be debatable. There are compromises to these cons, but another con that I basically have, which kind of alluded to JC Max and Jay Blaze's video that inspired me to do this video, was what they call nickel and dime shit, which is also known as microtransactions and pre-order and season passes. Now, for me, the only way in which I would get into microtransactions, especially in a game that I really, really favor, is that if the microtransactions involve the cosmetic aspect of your character. If microtransactions involve weapon upgrades and things like that, I'm just not a part of it. Now, these guys will tell you that I used to play The Last of Us, and I loved the game. I loved The Last of Us, you know. I still love The Last of Us, you know, as a game per se. It's one of the best games of all time, you know, but I stopped playing it out of principle because of I forgot what the map pack was called, something territories, where they were actually selling scoped weapons. And I was not having none of that shit, because Naughty Dog had me when they were telling the story of survival against all the odds with a couple of crappy guns and what have you. I mean, you know, I could live with getting my new asshole torn up with a freaking shorty. Do you know what I'm saying? I can live with that. But then when you got freaking scoped auto rifles selling for like £2.50 or 79 pence, depending on the amount of guns or the package you want to buy or get into, you know, the subject matter of survival doesn't even come into it anymore. It's survival of the less economically challenged. So if you got £2.50, don't get me wrong, it's like it's not about the money, it's the principality of the thing. You know what I mean? It's like, come on, man. You know, if you're playing a game about survival, then let me be immersed in that, in knowing that I've only got a few guns at my disposal and limited ammunition. You know what I'm saying? You know, and people keep telling me, well, it's still balanced and shit. Bollocks to that. How can it be balanced if people, you know, if people, I wouldn't say can't afford to buy it, but out of principle is not going to buy it. And the people that will buy it regardless. Do you know what I mean? How is there a sense of balance? Yeah, you could talk about skill and what have you, but that's not the point. It's the principality of the thing. You know, and that's the reason why I stopped playing The Last of Us. Not because of the game itself, it was a beautiful game, but it was that. And with that, it leads me to really, really be anxious about Uncharted 4, The Thief's End forthcoming release. Now, I've played the hell out of Uncharted 3, and I love that game. I still love it to this day. I haven't even traded in or sold my PS3. I still have my PS3 to play those games again. But admittedly, the game has been fucked because it's been glitched the hell out of anyway. But when you play with people that play the game properly, then you can still have a good time with it. But I'm really, really worried in relation to Uncharted 4. I'm hoping to God they don't go down that same route again. Because if they do, I'm gonna really, really be upset about it. Do you know what I mean? You know, because some games you can just have the games there, and you can include map packs and what have you, and cosmetic stuff. I'll pay for that. I don't have a problem paying for that. But fucking scopes, weapons, I ain't doing that shit. Don't give a fuck. I don't business what anybody wants to tell me in relation to balance or what have you. The fact is, that is nickel and dime shit, you know? So that's my take on the microtransactions. Season passes. Again, a level of compromise can be set with season passes. I really think that with season passes, they're kind of in a sticky position, these developers. Of course, you know, there are some developers that are just money hungry. They don't give a fuck. They just want your money. Fuck you, pay me. Goodfella style. But, you know, there are some companies that they want you to enjoy the experience. And one of the few games that don't even issue season passes is Rockstar with Grand Theft Auto 5, you know, and really they could have done. They could have issued season passes for what they were basically offering. But for the most part, some of the AAA titles that do offer season passes and stuff, it's very hard to implement the map packs and what have you at a certain time in the game's life, because you have some gamers that wants to basically shove the game down their throats, you know what I mean? First chance, any chance they get, and level the fuck up so quick. And then you have people that wants to digest the game and really take in the game and methodically go through the game at a nice, evenly pace. Do you know what I mean? And when as a as a distributor or what have you, when you want to dole out the season passes and release the DLC, you know, in the time that you think is suitable, may not be suitable for other people. You know what I mean? I personally would like to go back to the days where you bought a game and the game is what you got, you know? Back in the day when the PS1 games cost as much as the PS4 games now, you know? Admittedly, it was more of a single player era, but even in a multiplayer era now, you know, there are games you can buy and you can continue to play the game. The game doesn't necessarily have to be a huge game like, you know, like The Witcher or any of those games. Do you know what I mean? They could be like nice, medium-sized games that the gameplay brings you back, you know? But that's my thing. Anyway, I just want to ask you guys, what are your pros? What are your cons? And what are your wish lists for the improvement of gaming on the current generation? For me, I just need to see improvement on the cons. That's it, you know what I mean, for my wish list. Other than that, I'm enjoying gaming. I won't stop enjoying gaming. There's good and bad and indifferent right about now. You know, in terms of the PS4 as a console itself, there's so many things that could be improved within the console, but it's just too much for me to go into right about now, and I think your attention span will wane if I go over freaking half an hour with this shit. But please let me know what your views are, what your pros and cons and your wish list for future gaming on respective consoles. Please do not turn it into no freaking console war bullshit. I'm not into that. I'm all about gaming, happy gaming, no matter what you're playing it on. But anyway, you know the coup. That is what I'm saying. Whatever the game console, whatever the platform, media, happy game, because that's what it's all about, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. And until I catch you on the next one, stay blessed. Megan. Watch the